Welcome to UFO Documentation, where you're going to find the latest when it comes down to UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomena, as well as what I call things that we just want to go, In this video, we're going to be talking about the bombshell that was dropped recently, right before the public's eyes, right where everybody was not paying attention, I think, where they said today, we got things not of this world in our world. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in this video. So get ready, sit back, and we're going to go over this real quickly, but we're going to enjoy the next few moments together. Okay, let's get after it. I'm Roderick Martin, and I'm hosting this channel, UFO Documentation. If you're here for the first time, just a quick background. I am a certified field investigator for the MUFON Network. I live in the Texas area, so I investigate UFO reportings in the state of Texas. And here on this particular channel, I do plan on showing some of my investigations that I've done personally here in the state of Texas, as well as some of my colleagues all around the world, maybe showing things right in your neighborhood. But today, I'm going to talk about the bombshell. And this is something that's really been on my mind over the last several weeks, and I just kind of wonder what's really happening. Most recently, the government released the information regarding UFOs, and they are real. But here's the thing that really has shocked me lately that was in the headlines that I think you should pay attention to. People haven't paid attention to because the date has passed, but this is something I think everybody right now should be just like, what is really happening? When I got the phone call that the government has now admitted that the footage of that Navy pilots was real. In other words, UFOs are now validated, okay? I'm sitting here going, what do we do now? Okay, well, now it's a whole years of trying to get them to say yes. Now they're saying yes, what do we do? So I'm sitting here, and I got the phone call, and at the time I'm sitting here with my new iPhone 11, and so I tell a friend of mine, and I go, man, you know what? Check this out. Here's the headline. You know, the government is now admitting, and I'm expecting in reaction, the same reaction I got, because when I got the phone call and I read it, I was like, damn! You know, and I'm expecting him to have the same reaction, and all I hear is crickets. You know, and he's like, same thing with the public. You know, crickets. Nobody's really talking about it, you know. And I don't know if people are not talking about it because we just still kind of like, but what are you going to do? You know, okay, now they're here. I don't know how many more years it would come before we actually have a visitor or somebody hop out one of these vehicles and wave and say, hey, what's up? You know, or however they're going to do it. I don't know. But what would you do? What preparation mentally, what we do now that we are now getting closer and closer to the discovery that we know that we're not alone, but the discovery of who is out there and where they're going to come from, what type of intelligence. The Pentagon has released a statement saying off-world vehicles are not made on this earth. Let me say that again. They are now admitting that there are things that they have found that are not made on this earth. So let's kind of start out with the whole thing about UFOs being unidentified flying objects. We know that there's a lot of people out there that talks about it. They talk about, you know, Roderick people are crazy thinking about UFOs. They don't exist. Of course, we have all of us in the ufology community. The historian, as well as some of the researchers, have all found data. We found a lot of proof that UFOs exist. But here's the deal. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here when the government has now come forward to say they're real? They're real. Now, here's the point that I think that a lot of people need to pay a close attention to. They're not saying that these things are unidentified. They're saying we know now that we have found and seen some of these vehicles that are not from this world, okay? they're now admitting that over time, all of this research in different private firms and task force, that they have already been knowing that they have been finding out that there's been people or things visiting us here that's not from this world. Now, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. So if you want to go fact check me, Google it, okay? Google the Pentagon, and this just happened about less than 2 weeks ago, have come forward in talking about releasing a statement saying that they have now found off-world vehicles that are not from this planet, not made by Ford, not made by Chevy. We all love our Chevys, and are not made by Mercedes or from foreign companies out there. This is made from somewhere not on this planet. Now, I'm going to get into something next here. I want to show you some more facts and proof here. Documentation is what I call it. And I want you to research it yourself and find out. But in the meantime, share your experience. What do you think about what's going on with here? Did you hear about the release of, or the government admitting that UFOs are real? Then they come back and say, we now have proof that there are there are vehicles not made of this earth that they have found out about. Now, that should right there make everybody do something like, remember the movie Independence Day when the aliens arrive? I think everybody right now, when you hear about that, they have now said that they are here. We got vehicles that are not made from this earth that's here on our planet. People should be just like this scene right here. And I would be like this fellow. So let's get into the next part of this as we get down to some of the meat of this video. What former Senator Reid said, I thought was very profound. And I'm going to quote exactly what he said here. He said, we got a volume of research that was done, $22 million worth of research, okay? This is the Senator Majority Leader, Harry Reid, formerly, when back in the time when the program was in play from 2007 to 2012, he said it showed that not two people, okay, not four, not six, or 20 people, but hundreds and hundreds of people have seen these things, sometimes all the same time. So what they're saying is they've been getting reports just like we have, that we'll get a report and the phones or several people will report sightings. Now, we don't think that's a coincidence in the research community here at MUFON. So we really don't, when 12 people are reporting a sighting and they all have similar descriptions of what's going on or these things. And when police departments get phone calls, blow up their grids, their boards, and people are calling in. And then, of course, the government gets this information just as well, and if not more frequently than we do, okay? And so he's saying hundreds and hundreds of people are reporting the same thing. Now, this is the people who got the intelligence who's saying this. This is not a fly-by-night person. This is a Senate Majority Leader who's now, and this was in a recent interview about 2 weeks ago, okay? And he's saying that out of the $22 million, we got some stuff. We got some stuff that now tell us that we're not alone and that some of these vehicles are not from this earth. Wow. And he's saying that not just one person is doing it, not two people, but a lot of people are reporting this, a lot of people, and you don't hear about it. But now they want to bring it forth, and the timing is impeccable because the fact that people are focusing on COVID, people are focusing on, unemployment, all the things that's happening, the distractions and real things happening in this world, because this is a sad thing going through all this COVID and the people that have lost their lives. So right now we're all focusing our hearts in those places, and how dare them to want to say, okay, while they're focusing their hearts on what's happening out here through, peaceful protesting and the COVIDs and the deaths in COVIDs and the hospitalizations and family members, and we're now going to slip the okie doke, and now we can go ahead and admit it because ain't too many people going to pay attention. I just want you to kind of understand that, one of the things that concerns me the most is how they did release the statement saying that, these are off-road vehicles from this earth. This is the best they got. Out of all of the $22 million research, all of the different things, this is the best that they have, is to come back and say, we now admit that these are vehicles that are not made of this earth, okay? This is their saying, this is what they're doing. And, I'm thinking something like this from a scene in this movie.
This government can come up with? I mean, you're NASA, for crying out loud. You put a man on the moon. You're geniuses. You're the guys that think his shit up. I'm sure you got a team of men sitting around somewhere right now just thinking shit up and somebody backing them up.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about it. Like, really? Are you seriously? That's the best line they can come up with? That's the best solutions? By now we should be knowing, hey, what's really happening? Who's in those things? Who's really flying around? But we don't know that. So I'm asking you as the public, as people that are seeing this as we begin to build this channel, take a little more closer look at the possibilities that we're not alone. Take a more look at the possibilities, and I'm using the word possibility because I just want you to start at a small level, because being an investigator, I've seen some things that have just really thrown for a loop. Some of those things I plan on showing here, so definitely stay tuned. But all I'm saying is this is not, this is real. It is now for us time to pay a close attention to, especially even in our communities, when we just don't talk about certain things and everything else. But as I come to a close in this video at this particular segment, I just want to leave you with the question of, have you seen a UFO? And if you have, you now can come forward, because let me tell you something. Everybody else is talking about it. Maybe, not everybody's talking about it, but all of the people in the UFO community is talking about it. And there are some new people coming on board that are now saying, wait a minute, you know what? This kind of looks real, but you can talk about it. So I want you to share it. We can do a Zoom. We can do some things and talk about it. And of course, if you have some documentation, that's even better, because that's our tagline. But the main thing I'm going to leave you with today, as of several weeks ago, most people didn't know that these things are real. And I always think about now to think, what are we going to know tomorrow? So as you come to more and subscribe to my videos and everything else, every day, every other day, I'm going to give you some updated news, updated information regarding UFO sightings, government things that's coming out, as well as case files. And I do plan on showing you a case file in the next video. So make sure that you tune in for that, and, just kind of show you how I go by doing my investigative work for MUFON as a field investigator. But the meantime, I'm also still incorporating daily things when it comes down to UFOs. And so I would like for you to kind of get involved with it. But once again, I'm Roderick Martin here with UFO Documentation, and looking forward to letting you know what are you going to find out tomorrow when you come and visit this channel again. Take care.